الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين، وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. Almost 2 weeks since Iran came under attack by America and Israel. They've been hitting Iran with all kinds of weapons, except for nuclear. But hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sites inside Iran, and uh, Iran hit back. This is a war of aggression. Not even the Americans support it, and the Americans, all of them, including the supporters of Trump, know that he's a liar. And many people here are discovering how Israel is dragging America into wars in areas that they're not really interested in wars, especially now. So Iran is hitting back. And the Arabs are, many of them, glued to the screens, the news, especially Jazeera. Iran shot, fired hundreds of missiles and drones and this and that, and they reach this area and that area. Look at the damage here and there. Hundreds and hundreds. They still have a lot, they say. And their strategic stockpile of those missiles are still underground. They're not hit, didn't hit, whatever. And of course, the usual. Whatever Israel and America shoot at Iran hits civilian places. Whatever Iran shoots at Israel and the Gulf area hits military only, no civilians. The Gulf area, the Gulf countries, already said, we are not a part of this war. They said that. They haven't allowed their airspace to be used to bomb Iran. Yet the Iranians have been shooting missiles at the Gulf area and at Azerbaijan. What's Azerbaijan, you may ask? A country with almost 90% Shia. I think one of the ministers in Azerbaijan visited the Iranian embassy to express their condolences to our brotherly people, didn't say Shia, in Iran and this and that, before Iran hit Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan is saying, we don't have American bases. Nobody is hitting Iran from Azerbaijan, and what they hit was civilian areas. Why Azerbaijan? If you have the strongest military force in the world attacking you, and they brought a sidekick with them, the Jews, because, we all know, you all know, those who keep saying Israel is just, the hugest, biggest and whatever army. No, it isn't. All what they have came from the West, especially America. Weapons, intelligence, support, money, propaganda, whatever. So the sidekick is Israel, and Israel is doing a lot more damage this time than they did the last time when they went after the leadership in Iran, just as they did against Hamas and against Hezbollah. Now, what they're doing, they have been doing lately, wasn't always their policy. They go after the leadership, the head of the snake. So Iran, facing this aggression, it is aggression. Everybody knows it is aggression, and that this man, Trump, uh, he doesn't need the Jews or anybody to tell him. Whoever gets to him in the morning, that's the policy that he's going to do early on in the morning on social media. It's really unbelievable. Anyway, so you're facing all this trouble. Leadership has been decimated. I mean, they've been telling you, we're going to hit you, we're going to hit you, we're going to hit you. Hey, we just hit you. And they go after the leadership and they kill a lot of the leadership, including the Grand Mullah himself, Khamenei. But they don't seem to be able to hide their leaders. Or, what is really clear, for a very long time, the mullahs have so alienated their own people that many in Iran are willing to spy for anyone against the mullahs. Anyone. How are they able to find all these leaders and hit them in areas that is very big? You know, Israel, Palestine is this big compared to Iran. But they're able to find the leadership and eliminate the leadership. They appointed this guy, tomorrow he's dead. Then another one. And now we haven't heard about who is the new mullah, the Grand Mullah. Nobody knows. So when you're faced with all this aggression, what do? You try to lessen the impact on your people. The mullahs in Iran, they don't care about their people. Most of the people in Iran, including the Shia, wish to get rid of this regime. They try to vote president. They keep calling them, they're moderate. They turn out to be weak, whatever. They want out. They're not really interested anymore, if they were even ever, in this regime that devastated them economically, that killed them. A lot more Iranians, including Sunnis, Shia, Persians, Turks, Azeris, Pashtun, Arab. They were killed by the Iranians in far larger numbers than America and Israel managed to kill Iranians. So the slogan was from the beginning, death to America, death to Israel. It was death to the people in Iran and to the Gulf area. So any people with or a leader with a hint of a brain will say, why invoke the enmity of other people whom we directed our hostility at them for 47 years, the Arabs of the Gulf area? Why make them join the war? So they keep hitting the Gulf area war. That is a war that they're not participating in. The Gulf area, they told you, we're not in. No, they try to drag them in. Again, for a slogan. Look at the Arabs, they're hitting us at the same time like the Jews are hitting us. And they hit Qatar many, many times. Many, many, many times. Many times. Those mullahs. Qatar has been a promoter of the interests of Iran among the Muslims. Really. And this is how they pay them back. Hey, we appreciate what you're doing. And a few missiles here and there, enjoy. And the people who shoot them have this signs, Ya Hussein. So they have the signs of shirk. In an Islamic republic, polytheism is against Islam. In an Islamic republic that is claiming to the world we're fighting for Islam, death to America, death to the Jews, except that they never fought America or the Jews. They never did. I made this challenge years ago. Tell me one. See this? Yeah, just one. Not asking for two, not asking for three, not asking for four, and you better believe I'm not asking for five. Just one time when Iran actually started a war against America and Israel. But it's the slogan to make the Arabs always the commoners and the Islamist parties that cooperated with the Shia, the enemies of Islam. Why are they the enemies of Islam? What kind of Islam do they have? The Shia, who control Iran and Iraq. Alhamdulillah, no more Syria, Lebanon, Yemen. What's Islam to them? No Quran. The Prophet's Sunnah traditions, because the people who brought the Quran and the Sunnah, the traditions, the practices of the Prophet, and the explanation of the Quran by the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the blessings, mercy, and honor of Allah on him. The people who brought this to the world, his companions, Muhammad's companions, were all disbelievers. So, and they invoke dead people, which is the exact opposite of Islam, with the word being that describes the entire religion of Islam, Tawheed, that Allah alone is worthy of worship, is the only one worthy of worship. See? So the Shia, this is the kind of Islam they have, and they've been promoting the slogans about America and especially Israel, so the Arabs can say, look at the Arab leaders and the Arab people, they're not fighting, but look at Israel. Now they are being hit by missiles from Iran, and the Arabs, and we're watching for many months the slaughter in Gaza. They're doing nothing about it. And if you watch, I hope you don't, watch the TV, the channels, satellite channels that belong to the Arab countries, music and dancing and movies, and if it is Egyptian movies, if it is Indian movies, European, American movies, all kind of movies and dancing. Other people in Gaza are being slaughtered. So the Arabs get excited, especially from Jazeera. They're glued there. The missiles. They shot this missile, and then they bring people who are supposedly military experts. Yeah, this missile this is how long, tall, whatever, you choose the word, and how, the payload and the distance, it reaches here and there, and, and this one, no, this has a longer range and bigger payload. No, this is the biggest one now. And this one, when it goes up and shoots, goes all the way very quickly over Israel, which is Palestine, this big, with 5 million Palestinians still living there. So they shoot there, and it breaks up into many small bombs, each good for destroying a whole house maybe, or a school. But hey, they don't hit civilians, they just hit military. And if they end up shooting al-Masjid al-Aqsa, bombing al-Aqsa, they will say the Jews did it. So here we are, the Muslims between the Jews and the Shia. Pick your choice. Which one says the truth? The ones who lie about their religion and the ones who are instructed in the Old Testament to lie? We proved that. This is not the time. It's in their book. The Jews. One of the major Muslim scholars, Ibn Taymiyyah, said that the Shia are the most lying Islamic sect because they invent lies and then adopt the lies they invented as a part of their religion. Does this remind you of anything? Isn't this what Allah criticized the Jews for? They kept inventing, and every time they did that, Allah said, you're required to abide by the invention, the innovation in the religion you just made. This is why their life is very difficult. It's the same like the Shia. The Shia have like so many days they cry and weep. This guy was killed, and then of course Hussein and Hussein and Hussein and Ya Hussein and Ya Ali and whatever. So they lie, and the Jews lie. So what happened? 47 years. What did we see from Iran with regards to death to America, death to Israel? Not a single war. None. They've been hit many times. Yeah. They retaliate because America has no business telling other nations you can have this kind of weapon and you can't have this kind of weapon, especially since North Korea represents a huge, massive danger to Japan, South Korea, and America. Japan, South Korea, and America, with missiles that can hit any city in America, with multiple nuclear warheads on each missile. Why are you going after Iran all these years for one, maybe two, 10, let's say 10 nuclear weapons that Iran could have come up with? They took so much time to do that. Pakistan took them really a few months to become a nuclear nation after India did it. These people have been doing it for tens of years. You don't have even one. So you're doing all this struggle with Iran over the decades, and the economy was devastated because of literally the embargoes that have been going on against Iran for decades, for one, maybe 10, to prevent Iran from coming up with one, maybe 10 nuclear weapons. When you have North Korea, yeah, I know, the leader there, he loves Trump, and Trump says he loves me. Whatever. But they have over about 100, 80, 70, 100 in North Korea. Why didn't you go after North Korea? Why? You explain to me. The Americans are asking now, really? You're going after Iran? What about North Korea? They have a lot more. And also, the Mullahs of Iran, let's suppose they have a nuclear weapon now. If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10 nuclear weapons, would you be sitting with the other mullahs? Very rich mullahs. They devastated the economy of Iran, but so much money, in the tens of billions of dollars. They say the Khamenei financial empire is about $100 billion. B, his son owns property in London worth about $100 million. So they're sitting saying, hey, America has 3,500 nuclear weapons. Israel has 100. We have one. No, we have 10. Let's shoot them with the 10 we have. The other mullahs will be saying, are you crazy? We know you're crazy because you're a mullah, but are you crazy? You're gonna shoot? They're not gonna shoot any nuclear weapons at America or Israel, because this means the total destruction of Iran. You think Trump would hesitate? But these weapons, they are after them to keep the fear of Iran in the heart of those little Gulf nations, weak, always dependent on the West, especially America, so they can keep buying weapons by the tens of billions of dollars, but they don't work when they need those weapons. Radar that doesn't work. Israel hits Qatar a few miles away from the largest military base in the Middle East, they say, American. Really, you're telling me they couldn't see that? So the Iranians are not going nuclear to attack America or Israel. Are you crazy? They are crazy, not that crazy, really. So, all these aspects together. 47 years, death to America, death to Israel. They brought death to Muslims, starting with Iran, the Sunnis there. And the commoner Shia, also they suffered tremendously. They suffered in Iran, including death. Look at the economy in Iran. It's pathetic. Then Iraq. The economy there is dead, and they caused the death, and they killed hundreds of thousands of Muslims, Sunnis in Iraq. Then in Syria, hundreds of thousands of Muslims in Syria by the gangs sent from Iran to do to the Syrian Muslims what the Jews did to us Palestinians. They just keep coming and coming, and they kick people out of their farms and homes. If they're still alive, of course, if they're Sunni, they occupy the place. They were planning to make Syria a heaven, not a haven, a heaven for the Shia on earth. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. They killed many Muslims in Yemen in the thousands, in Lebanon. That's what they did. How many wars against America and Israel? One? No. It's this one, 0 here. And the Arabs invented this 0 and also the dot. Both of them, the Arabs. We know our zeros. So those Gulf area countries, they were the target all the time, not Israel. Qasim Soleimani is on the net, if you're interested to find out, said our war is not really against Israel. It's against the Wahhabis. To them, the Wahhabis are the Sunnis. Yeah, all of you, yeah. Jazeera, look at the missile. Look, it hit Tel Aviv. It hit this. The Iranians, like all nations on this earth, if they are attacked, they have the right to attack back. I mean, missiles. So, before I go to my last point, 25 minutes, and my throat is not helping that much, but I just wanted to encourage you, brothers and sisters. We have the 3rd edition of this book, Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad. 400 pages of knowledge. It's a comparison between the rulings of warfare between the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran and Prophet Muhammad's Sunnah traditions and practices. You'll find it on islamlife.com. islamlife.com. Read it. My name is Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub. For 47 years, I have been hearing about the Iranian slogans: death to America, death to Israel, except that they sent death to Muslims, especially in the Gulf area, and of course, especially in Iran itself, then Iraq, and Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. So I wanted to let you know that we're still trying to open our center. Okay, making sure. Go to medinacenter.net. Donate. Help us establish a center to teach Islamic knowledge without restrictions from our center. We're still short by $30,000. Can you do that and buy the book? I am from Palestine, grew up in Kuwait, from the West Bank, the city of Jenin. And for 47 years, 2/3 of my life, I've been hearing about the coming invasion of Israel by the Shia, who will come and establish what? They're going to free us from the Jews. It didn't happen. Never happened. You know that. Now, they're saying the Arabs, they're not doing anything for Gaza. Okay, this is my main point today. I discovered, and I mentioned this many, many times. Since I was very young, I discovered that the Arabs, especially the leaders, don't want to fight Israel. They don't want to fight the West, especially America. And they know if they fight Israel, they're fighting America. Israel, America. But you've been telling us the slogans 47 years about those waves and waves of Shia, Ya Hussein, Ya Ali, Ya whatever, Ya Fatima, invading to free us from the Jews. In my book, The Jewish Temple Resurrected by the Shia, in their books, this is what they're going to do when the Mahdi, who doesn't exist, will come according to them. And if he doesn't exist, never existed, he can't come back. He can't show his face or head. When the Mahdi comes back, he will destroy Al-Kaaba. It's in their books. You'll find this book on our website, islamlife.com. Read, for Allah's sake. What's the plan the Mahdi has? Al-Kaaba will be destroyed. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa will collapse. Now the Mahdi is here. And here will appear and rise the Jewish temple. The Mahdi, when he comes back, he will speak Hebrew, Ibri. His flag is the Star of David, and we have no idea what flag the Prophet of Allah, Dawood alayhi salam, David, what kind of flag he had. And Allah said that he cursed the disbelievers among the Jews, Dawood himself, alayhi salam, Star of David, the Mahdi. And when he comes, he's been hiding in a cave for many, many centuries. Not all Shia say he's hiding in a cave, but many of them do. And the cave is in Iraq. So when he comes out of that cave, he will be completely naked under the sun. So you will see the chapter, the Shia Mahdi naked under the sun. And the Arabs are still waiting and waiting and waiting. And now it seems 31 minutes, you can handle it. If I can handle it with a throat that's not helping me that much, I don't have a cold. It's just, alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal. So the Arabs now saying, look at the missiles, the missiles, missiles. Here is my question, and I'll leave my question with you to reach out to your conscience. The introduction to the question. Here is a system that started by saying death to America, death to Israel. Never fought America, never fought Israel. Instead, they killed up to 1 million Muslims. Ya Muslims, ya Muslims, fear Allah. Fear Allah. Say the truth. They killed up to 1 million Muslims, caused millions more to flee their countries, running away from the Shia. And I mean the Ja'faris here in specific, and the Alawis, not the Zaydis who exist in Yemen. The Houthis have become Ja'faris. A side question here. What happened to the Houthis? Then they say we're going to shoot missiles, and they shot missiles. Those people with the qat here, a couple of kilograms here, sucking on it. How come they didn't shoot any missiles, even though the Grand Mullah was killed? They're attacking Iran. Your weapons came from Iran, your support, no missiles. And Hezbollah waited and waited, and then they shot something. And now the Jews are again destroying the infrastructure of Lebanon, where hundreds of thousands of Muslims, couple of million Muslims, Sunnis live, and most Shia also they're suffering, because if you want success for your economy, give it to the Mullahs. So what happened to the Houthis? So 47 years, death to America, death to Israel. What they meant, what they did, death to Sunnis, death to Muslims. That's what they did. You know that. You know that. You know that. Now you're fascinated. All these missiles coming from the system that started 47 years ago by saying death to America, death to Israel. The same system that lured the Hamas leadership that was destroyed to attack the Jews many times until October 7. They lured them to do that, right? You know that. Where did they get the missiles from to shoot at Israel? Well, they got them from Sweden, from Hezbollah. And Hezbollah got their weapons from Iran. So they told the Palestinians for the 10th, 20th, 30th time, attack Israel. We'll support you. We'll help you. We'll do this. We'll back you up. We have your back to stab it. Really? They have all these missiles, Arabs. They're maybe wearing glasses to see clearly about those missiles. Look how tall this missile is. It hits large area and this and that. Where did the missiles come from? Iran. How come these missiles were never shot at Israel when they started slaughtering our people in Gaza and the West Bank. Did you think about that? All these missiles and, we'll destroy Israel, we'll destroy all the countries, we're going to hit Azerbaijan. And then they apologize to the Gulf area, the president of Iran, and then they hit him again. Yeah, if you want to trust the Shia, you might as well trust the Jews, because according to the scholars of the according to the scholars of the Shia, a Jew started what Khomeini called Shia religion, a Jew. All these missiles, how come they did not shoot them at Israel October 7, 8, 9, November, December, any other month after that? It's your slogan. No Arab leader said death to America, death to Israel. You did it. And you said it claiming to be in the name of Islam. You don't have Islam. Anyway, how come they didn't shoot all these missiles to relieve our brothers and sisters in Gaza? Now, and you saw tens of thousands of Muslims being killed in Gaza, and you didn't shoot all these missiles? That would have been a great relief for the people of Gaza, who were surprised, just like everybody else, with what Hamas leadership did to them October 7. They were not prepared. They didn't give them any weapons or to defend themselves, or water or medicine or food or anything. They didn't hide them in those tunnels, legendary tunnels. So how come those missiles did not come from the beginning? Why now? Why now? Think about it. To satisfy your bitterness at the Arab and Muslim leaders, you're willing to accept this kind of absolute lie? Death to America, death to Israel. Never fought America or Israel. Killed hundreds of thousands, up to 1 million Muslims. Caused more than 10 million Muslims to flee their country. And then stood by when the Jews were slaughtering the people of Gaza, even though Hamas leadership, I never supported them. Look what they did to the people of Gaza. They knew the consequences. But you didn't shoot all these missiles at Israel then. Now, because it has to do with your position, being a mullah for your neighborhood, they pay you a fifth of their income. You have a militia. You're having a very nice time. Those mullahs in Iran and in Iraq, with, Allah knows, like countless treasures there. Not only the oil, but look at the economies. They're really, really bad. I remember in Kuwait, before Saddam went into the war with Iran, the Iraqi dinar used to compete with the Kuwaiti dinar, being the currency that was worth the most. So number one was Kuwaiti dinar, still is $3.4 today. Iraqi dinar was about 2.9. Today, you need a garbage bag to get them dinars, a bigger one to get them Irani riyals to buy something to eat. Okay, so where were all these missiles when the Gaza people, whom you lured their leadership to attack the Jews with promises from you? Where were they? How come you didn't shoot them then? So Arabs are fascinating. Jazeera, Arabiya doesn't do as much, but Jazeera, I'm watching Jazeera. Look what they did. What about October 7? What about Gaza? Forget about the West Bank, because the West Bank, nobody supports Iran there, and very few people support Hamas anyway. And West Bank is much larger with more population than Gaza. How come you didn't shoot all these missiles at Tel Aviv? And when you shoot it, say, hey, from now on it's Tel Abib. It's not Tel Aviv, it's Tel Abib. And we shot some missiles at whatever. And by the way, if any of our missiles hit Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, Al-Quds, the Jews did it. How come? Can you ask yourself this question? In sincerity with Allah, in this month, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save the Muslims from themselves and from their enemies. La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah.